So just an update, this is the second version of this video. The original version had some mistakes in it because I miscounted things that were in my inventory. So this is an updated version. Thank you to those who commented on the original. That has been unlisted, so you won't see that anymore. This is the updated version, so let's jump right into the video. In May, the Waft Emitter, called the Wafter at the time, was added to Grounded. After testing it, I published a video pointing out why it was not worth using. In summary, at the time, you would at best break even in terms of resources invested and resources earned, but oftentimes you would get back less than you put in. With the 1.0 update for Grounded, this may have changed, and today we're going to find out if the Waft Emitter is worth using now. So this is the Waft Emitter. It kind of looks like a ladybird with a bunch of stuff sticking out of it on top of a clay foundation. The crafting cost for it is going to be 2 ladybug parts, 1 ladybug head, 4 tough gunk, and 5 clay, so it's not that expensive. In order to be able to unlock the ability to craft this, what you're going to have to do is turn in the Black Anthill Burgle chip, and then you're going to have to purchase this from the science shop for 2,500 raw science. What it's used for is you can deposit specific bug parts in it, and they can attract bugs to farm their parts. It can also be used as a base defense on demand, since we cannot repeat mixers and faction reactivity just occurs when it wants to occur. So this is a way to basically just have base defenses whenever you want. So the way it works is you walk up to it and you just press use, and you'll see any parts in your inventory that can be deposited, can be placed in there. So as an example, I have red ant parts, bombardier parts, spider chunks, larva spikes, spider fangs, and black ox parts. You'll also notice down here other parts that I have that cannot be put inside of it because you can't use those to attract the enemies. So here's a list of all the bugs that can be attracted using the Waft Emitter. And you'll notice the ones that are on here that I think are most important are going to be larva, wolf spiders, and black ox beetles. The reason those are most important is some of the parts they drop can be used to craft whetstones, which are needed to upgrade the weapons in the game. You will notice, however, that none of the bugs that drop parts for upgrading armors are on the list, so you will not be able to use these to farm armors. But in my opinion, that's okay because, to be honest, I've never really had any issue finding enough parts to upgrade my armor. So the first thing we're going to be testing out is the red ants. And the reason I'm doing this is because the original video I did on this, I put in exactly 8 red ant parts. And when I finished it, I got back 8 red ant parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to deposit the same amount. I want to see if I get back more resources to see if the Waft Emitters have in fact been secretly buffed. So having run this a bunch of times, I do know that the red ant, actually everything that raids for these raids will be coming from through that little crack in the gate over there, which is super helpful because basically I can just funnel the enemies in. And these guys, I'm not sure what they're doing. Maybe they weren't part of the raid. You can see the turrets actually do okay against the less beefy enemies. So we're gonna have to go down here and hit them. That's that. It's probably gonna be faster just to take them out with the spicy coltana here, just so we can get through this as efficiently as possible. This looks like the last wave. And I am in a custom game mode. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier. So I'm not going to take any damage. Just to make this easier, we're not trying to see how difficult this is. We're trying to make it just get through it as quickly as possible. So let's take a look at what we got. So we put in 8 ant parts. We got back 12. So that is an increase over what we were getting before. I didn't get any ant heads, and I did not get any of the ant mandibles, even though we did kill quite a few of the soldier ants. So I've done some other testing of this and had different results in like a couple times when I ran it. I got back some ant heads. Haven't gotten any mandibles, so not sure if mandibles are just a super rare drop, or maybe you have to put them in there. So now let's jump on in and try it with the spiders, and then we'll also be trying it with the black ox beetles. So next up, we're going to be doing it with the wolf spider fangs. So we're going to be inputting 2 spider fangs here and hitting unleash the waft, and we'll see how many come. So here comes our first wolf spider, it looks like. Yeah, is he getting stuck? Looks like they're kind of getting caught up over there. So we got quite a few here. We're just going to hop out because I'm not going to take damage. There are a total of 1, 2, 3. There's also an ore weaver that's jumped in on the action. I'm just trying to get a total count here. 1. I killed 1. So there's 3 so far, plus this ore weaver that just got caught up in it. So we'll make sure we don't loot the ore weaver. Just kill the ore weaver. Don't want to loot it. That looks pretty cool. Is there going to be any more? That's it. So we killed 1, 2. All I believe 3. I don't think there was another one over here. So only 3 spawn that time. So putting in 2 fangs, that time had 3 spawn. Pretty sure I tested this before, and I thought 2 fangs had 4 of them spawn in. I could be wrong. Unless one of them stuck. Let me go check. Sometimes they get stuck and don't actually make it. Or it could just be random. Maybe it's 3 or 4. Anyway, we put in 2 fangs. We got back 2 fangs, 3 venom, and we got 3 spider chunks. So we did get a plus here of these 2. I will say that I ran this a couple of times after the initial recording just to see what the results were going to be. And there's not always a guarantee to get back the spider fangs. In fact, one time I did it, I think I put in 3 fangs and I got back 0. Or maybe I put in 2 and got back 0. So at best right now, it's looked like we're breaking even. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in the 2 black ox parts and see what that gives us back. Got to unleash the waft. It appears they're coming now unless that's a spider. One thing I will say is they spawn from pretty far away. And this location, other than having the orb weavers that are over here, funnels everything through this one little crack in the fence. So it's actually really easy to defend if you do decide you want to end up using these. That may end up actually being, that might actually be an orb weaver. Nope, that's the black ox beetle. They're just really, really slow. So putting in 2, we should get, I think, 3 or 4 of these guys. I did make myself a salty club of the mother demon just to burn through them as fast as possible. Okay, there's 1 down. Here's the next one. I am wondering if the number that spawn in is random or if it's maybe in a range or something. Maybe they're going to come separately. Because I just did this once with 2 of them in there. And I swear there were 4 total. Oh, here they come. This time they were just separated out a little bit. So there's this one. Yep. So putting in, looks like we're getting back like double. So putting in 2 got back, or spawned in 4 black ox beetles. Now imagine how tough this fight would be straight up by yourself. I can't even imagine doing this on my main save where I literally have like everything maxed out, all the molars unlocked and everything for the most part, and also having like just every mutation. So is that the end of it? So 4 total spawned in. Just grab all the parts here. And I had nothing in my inventory after I put them in. Maybe we can get lucky and actually get a single horn. And no. So for the black ox beetles, we deposited 2 parts, got back 4. We also got 7 tough gunk. We did not get any black ox horns. I can tell you this is probably the 4th or 5th one I've done between the initial recording and then the second recording, and I've not gotten a single black ox horn. I think I've killed a total of 10 or 11 of them and not gotten a single black ox horn. I'm not sure if you actually have to put a horn in to maybe get one back. Maybe that's the trick, but really, so overall, basically, just to wrap this up, put in 8 red ant parts, got back 12, didn't get any heads. I did some previous testing. I did get a couple heads randomly. They must be super rare. Have not gotten any red ant mandibles, even though I've killed red soldier ants every single time I've done it. Put in 2 spider fangs, got back 2 spider fangs, 3 venom, and 3 spider chunks. And doing other testing, sometimes you get back what you put in, sometimes you get none. In fact, I had to go right before I re-recorded this, go kill a couple of other wolf spiders because I actually had 3 to start and ended up having none at the end. So I had to go kill a couple more wolf spiders. And actually, one wolf spider I killed did drop 2 of them when I was farming the resources for this. And then last but not least, we put in 2 black ox parts and got back 4, but no horns. And like I said, this is probably the 4th or 5th black ox raid I did. Haven't gotten any horns. So overall, I will say it seems to be completely RNG based, what you get back and what you don't. If you're just trying to farm like basic bug parts, this is probably going to be useful because it does look like it got a slight buff over what it was before. If you're trying to use it to farm parts for upgrades for weapons specifically, I'm just not going to recommend doing it right now. In the end, if you like base defense, it might be worth doing these because it's really the only on-demand base defense option you have. So anyway, hopefully you found this video informative. I do apologize for the mistake I made earlier in the video. That's why I made this corrected version of it. Thank you to all those who pointed out the mistakes so I can make sure I put out the most accurate content as possible. Thanks again for watching. If you found the video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. And here's another video you might find helpful as well.